Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is my first attempt at a video on my YouTube channel, so I'm just kind of winging it. I'm going to do these videos just for my kind of musings and thoughts, as it were, as I continue my journey of inoperable prostate cancer, for which I was diagnosed in September 2023, and then followed on a PET scan a week later. On the 5th of October 2023, I was told that the prostate cancer had gone into my lymph nodes in my pelvis, which are inaccessible. So my final diagnosis was inoperable prostate cancer. Now I have written a couple of blogs since then. I published one last June, 12th of June last year, on my initial 9 months journey. Thanks to everyone who read that. I'm almost at 1,500 readings on my blog site. I then published a second one on the anniversary of my diagnosis in October, the 5th of October. So I did a second blog, which was less read. That's fine. If one person reads it, it's job done. But and I'm writing again at the moment, but I'm not going to publish that for a while as I just continue my journey. I'll just introduce myself briefly. I'm Phelan Moran. I live in Dublin, Ireland. I follow Celtic, and also I'm a Shamrock Rovers supporter and volunteer, but don't hold those two things against me, please. I'm 58 years of age. I'll be 59 in September. I'm married to Louise, who will be the big 6-0 in a couple of weeks' time, May the 3rd. So I live in Dublin. I'm a retired civil servant. I took early retirement from my civil servant's job 2.5 years ago. So although I retired from a job, I haven't retired from life. I live a very busy life, and thankfully, and a very contented life, despite all the things life throws at us all, good times and bad times. But so just basically a bit of a synopsis on, as I said, my inoperable prostate cancer. I was put on hormone treatments for 2 to 3 years, so I'm 18 months into the treatments of hormones. I get an injection every 3 months, and I'm on a daily tablet, a Berdaterone, and also a steroid called prednisolone, and a calcium vitamin tablet for my bones. So the treatments have suited me really well, thank God. My PSA at diagnosis, as I said, in October 23 was 10, and my PSA read 8 when I had my annual blood tests. And this is the thing, I get my bloods done every year and have done for many years, but I had no symptoms at all before the high PSA at my blood test 2 years ago showed there was a red flag with the high PSA. So like I say, I had no symptoms whatsoever. So the speed at which the cancer took hold and then spread into my lymph nodes was frightening, really, when you think about it, because I'd no red flags at all the previous April. So between April 2022 and April 2023, the prostate cancer had emerged and grown and spread. So so my PSA say was 8 after my blood test, and by the time I got my biopsy and diagnosis, it was 10. So you can imagine, and I'm sure everyone who's in a similar situation to myself, I know we all have different degrees or different prostate cancer kind of diagnoses, but I think we all share, the terror of seeing that PET scan as I did in front of me, seeing those cancerous little dots that the professor pointed to at my scan. And I was just discussing that with Louise there earlier on. She described it as an outer body experience, watching my PET scan, and I was just, my jaw had hit the floor. It was just, I'll never forget it. That was probably the the low point, as it were, in terms of the enormity of what I'd been told was kind of hitting me. So, like I say, as a result of the diagnosis, the professor referred me to the radiation oncologist. So I was referred for 39 doses of radiation, which I got between December 2023 and January 2024. 39 doses of that in St. Luke's Hospital here in Dublin. Incredible radiation therapists, and the radiation was deemed a success, thankfully, in terms of what they were hoping it would do. And like I say, I'm on hormones for 2 to 3 years, so I'm 18 months into the hormones. The hormones suppress the testosterone in the body, and which in turn, in theory, slows down the growth of cancer cells, and that seems again to have been very successful so far. My PSA, as I said, the diagnosis was 10. It's now, and has been for almost a year, undetectable. So the hormones and radiation have really done their job for me. Now there are certain side effects, and that's what kind of why I've decided to start this little channel. Fatigue is one of the most striking ones in my case, anyway. Especially the last few months now. I live a full and busy life, thankfully, so I have to mind my energy levels. But yeah, the fatigue is definitely a constant now. A few weeks after I'd finished my radiation, from the beginning of February 2024, I had 3 weeks of literally, other than maybe walking the dogs, because it's important you still do your physical exercise and physical activity. But other than that, I was floored. It was like a hit by a train when the radiation finally had finished, and the body started to dawn on the body just what a hammering it had taken. But since the chronic fatigue lifted in February 2024, I've continued on, keeping on. I play music. I'm very much involved in football and with Shamrock Rovers as a volunteer, and doing school runs with my granddaughter, and travelling to gigs, and travelling to matches, walking my dogs. So I've tried to be as normal as possible in terms of what I do in my life, other than having the full-time job, which I don't miss one bit, as you can imagine. But the last couple of months now in particular, I felt a real constant fatigue. So I need to be really careful that I don't overdo it in terms of household chores, because I do most of them, because my wife Louise is sick and pretty much bedbound for the last few years. So she does what she can, but it's minimal. But she's trying to do a bit more, which is brilliant. But it falls to me to do the vast majority of the household chores, and that's fine. That's what a carer does. But that comes with a fallback in terms of fatigue. So I need to mind that. But it's important to keep a sense of perspective. I find that's very important, and I wrote a lot about that in my initial blog of June 2024. Perspective in there's always somebody worse off than yourself. I'm under no illusions. I'm not out of any woods yet, 18 months into my treatment, but I'm an awful lot better and luckier than an awful lot of other men who've had prostate cancer, or indeed any other people, men and women, who've been affected by cancer. So I've been positive, other than, as I said, that looking at my PET scan that day with all the little cancerous dots outside the prostate was just, I'll never forget that. But my immediate reaction then really was, okay, how do we fix this? How do we got to find a positive, we got to find a hope. And I've luckily really found that, because you have to. I think I'm wired that way. My own parents were very positive people. They're both now no longer with us, unfortunately. My dad's 5th anniversary actually is coming up this Sunday, 13th of April. He was 86 when he passed, and my mum then followed 17 months later in September 2021, at age 85. But they lived very full and fulfilling lives, and they were brilliant parents to me, and still are, in terms of what they left me with, because they both had cancer battles in their lives. So they definitely left me with their own facets in terms of my mother's utter determination and defiance against cancer, because um, she'd stage 4 ovarian cancer in 1987, and the prognosis was really gloomy, and the treatments then obviously are not nowhere near as good effective as they are now. But she had 6 months chemotherapy, savage chemotherapy on her. She was 51 at the time, but she got another 34 years after she overcame the cancer through obviously the treatments, but incredible determination and willpower and defiance, like I say. So I definitely got that from my mother, and I think my dad's positivity radiates and lives in me, because I'm not letting anything derail me from being positive and being optimistic and being hopeful that I will prevail together with these incredible treatments that have been chosen for me. But you know, but I get why people might be gloomy or pessimistic or feel sorry for oneself. That's fine. That's understandable. Um, Despite all the great advances in cancer treatment, that word cancer, it's still a heart stopping, life changing word. And it certainly changed my life in terms of how I look at things and look at people. But I think my first message today is just to introduce myself in a very long-winded way, but that I'm feeling really well. Other than the fatigue is really definitely more prevalent. So you just need to mind your energy levels, be conscious of your energy, be conscious of your fatigue, listen to your body. That's crucial. So I do listen to my body. I nap more during the day. I go to bed a little bit earlier. But you got to live your life too, and I'm living my life to the fullest and best I can. I have incredible support based around me with my wife Louise and my family, and Louise's family. Most of Louise's family are there and are brilliant. My friends in football and music and outside of those areas, I'm very, very lucky to have the support base I do, both in a personal capacity and indeed on social media. People who I've never met and never will meet, but who I've engaged with since being diagnosed with prostate cancer, and meeting other people online who have gone through or are going through the same as me or very similar to it. We all gotta have each other's back here. But like I say, not only for prostate cancer patients, but any kind of cancer. That word, you have to say, it still strikes terror to anybody living it. But that's important that we live it and we come to terms with it, and just keep going. But yeah, so I hope I'm making a bit of sense in that. What is it now? 13 and a half minutes almost. I'll probably check in again when I feel like I have something constructive to say. But just that, I think it's important. Like I say, if you're going through prostate cancer treatment as I am, just to manage your fatigue, manage your energy levels, but keep fighting it, keep living your life. You know, keep doing the things you love, which I do, and avoid the things or the people who will, you know, take positive energy from you, because there will be things and there will be people that will do that. So it's been a simple choice for me. I want to keep going forwards. So things or people that don't appeal to me, bye bye. And so far so good. I know I have a long way to go yet. I had my annual bloods actually yesterday. As I said, that was the start of my journey. The annual blood test showed up the high PSA, so I had my annual bloods yesterday, and I await the results of those. I have an appointment on the 26th with my hormone oncologist in Tala Hospital here in Dublin. That's a 6-monthly scheduled appointment, so I'm looking forward to meeting. It's either Dr. Corrigan, who's my oncologist, but one of her staff, or Dr. Corrigan herself, and we'll see how she feels I'm doing, and I know my wife has questions, and I'll probably have the odd question as well. So doing okay, folks. Like I say, I hope you're well, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. We have to start with the first one, so I hope you're all well, folks, and I'll check in again with you soon. Okay, God bless. Take care.